Alright, so I guess this is going to be my video of the Club Kayfabe interview. I received a bunch of questions, and I'm going to answer them. Some I did write down, so I have some answers for. Some will be spontaneous, some I don't have answers for. Pardon me, I am from the East Coast, so I do talk fast sometimes, I do mumble sometimes. So if you don't understand or hear what I say, I probably didn't have a good answer for the question. This is for Chris O'Mealy. First of all, my cat is right there. I don't know if I can point. There, right there above the PS3. Next to the cactus. Maybe one day they will get to meet. We'll see. Anyway, to keep with the Chris O'Mealy theme, he did have the first question. His question was, this is kind of personal and inside, but what was your favorite memory from Mr. Miller's computer design class? Well, it's so hard to say what my favorite memory is, considering that was the first class I had in the morning senior year. And I didn't wake up mentally until about 7th period, which was lunch, and then 8th period was Mr. Foco's math class. But I do remember all the times that yourself, myself, John Boyle, Nick Rosette, we would all kind of just, I don't even know. I don't think we would ever do our work as much as we would just make stupid animations on, I'm trying to think of the program, I can't think of the program's name. But I swear we never did work in that class. Mr. Miller was always a sarcastic a-hole, but in a good way. A good a-hole. But I remember just a lot of messing around. Never any real work being done. So I guess that's my memory. My memory is we never did anything in that class. But I know you were there. I remember the classroom was like this, and the door was over here. Door was over here. You sat like right there, and I sat back there. And the things I do remember. Pointless. I remember a lot of pointless stuff, as I'm sure you're all going to hear soon. Danny Dang, my good friend Danny Dang, asked the next question. He asked, what is a semi-charmed kind of life? Which I assume he's referencing the Third Eye Blind song. So I'll answer him both in the actual song context of what it means and what I think it means. Stephen Jenkins, lead singer of Third Eye Blind, has said that that song is strictly about his depression that he went through after a breakup and the drug-fueled life that inspired afterwards. I've never done drugs, so I've never lived in a semi-charmed kind of life. But I do enjoy the song, as you will see later on one of my questions. That is actually one of my favorite albums. I don't mean to skip to another Danny Dang question. But pretty much, yeah, it's just one of those songs that when it comes on the radio, you turn it up. I don't care if you like Third Eye Blind or not. It's just something you do. So good question. Good question, Danny. I like that question. Mickey O'Reilly, he asked a few questions in his post. I'll answer them one by one. He didn't have a serious one, which is good because I'm not going to have any serious answers. Goofy question. Who would myself and Danny Dang, also known as Chuck and Billy, pretty early for a gay joke for Danny and I like that, who would we face in the WWE and in Kayfabe? Kayfabe. Well, for Club Kayfabe, I think we would take on Chris O'Mealy, the Commissioner, and Joey Image. I would have to say Joey Image for the fact that I think Danny and myself can prove that independent wrestlers are terrible, and they really have no place in the world. Like no one's ever come from the indie leagues. Like it's always just been WWE. Like people were just bred through the farm system, but there really was no farm system. What a weird process that people just, I don't know. I'll have to ask Antonio. WWE, I don't know who would wrestle in the WWE. Past, present, current. Maybe John Cena. I'll say that's what I will say. I will say we will fight John Cena in a handicap match. And it'll kind of be like over the limit that Danny was at, where The Miz and Alex Riley beat the shit out of him for like a good 30 minutes. Except we kill him within the first 3 seconds. Because I'm not condoning murder, but I'd kill him. Another goofy question. This one's not too goofy, unless you really do think Danny and I are gay together. Why did the love affair between you and Danny Dang start? You can never ask why when it involves love. It's truer than anything else that anyone could ever experience. And that's what he has, myself and Danny Dang. It started when I was working for FedEx office in Pullman, Washington, one of the many places I've lived in my life. And he was hired on along with another gentleman. And Danny and I just clicked from the start. It wasn't love from first sight. He was a little quiet to start off. But we kindled a friendship over time of being stuck together and over pizza. There'd be one day a week that we would order a super duper pizza from Pizza Hut, which was right next door. It was when they had their any pizza for $10, when it had no limit on toppings. And we would just get every single thing. The pizza would be like, it would be huge. So I think we bonded over pizza and work. And then wrestling. I think there's a question later on with wrestling. But wrestling became a really strong part of our friendship as well. He wasn't a big fan of it. Not a big fan of it, but he was out of the loop for a while. And kind of when he came into my life, I was like the CM Punk for the Straight Edge Society of wrestling for him, and we kind of bonded over that. We got to listen to music at our job, so I would bring in wrestling. We would both bring in wrestling theme song CDs, just listen to those blaring through the whole store every now and then. So that was fun. Now a random question. Since I'm from Colorado, what is my view on the Rockies? As I said earlier, I'm East Coast, so I'm actually from New Jersey, but Colorado, Denver specifically, was one of my stops along my journey across the country. I think I lived there for a year and a half. That sounds about right. By the Rockies, I'll assume you mean the baseball team, since the next question is, how is Coors Field? The Rockies weren't the Rockies that are playing this season right now. I think they're still in first place. The Rockies that I saw, all their players were on the DL that year. Gomez was on the DL. I think Tulowitzki was out half the season. Helton was injured. So it was kind of like watching a minor league team as opposed to like the pro team that they're playing right now. But Coors Field, I've been to a bunch of stadiums. I've been to Shea. I've been to the old Yankee Stadium. Coors Field I've been to Dodger Stadium. Coors Field is probably one of the nicer stadiums I've been to. Everything is very... Hi, Ollie. Everything is very new there. It's very family-friendly, very children-oriented. They have a dinosaur mascot. It's a purple triceratops. However, the best part of Coors Field is the fact that you can get a huge beer and a hot dog for like $3. Yes, $3 for both of those. Not like 10 or 15 for just one of those at every other stadium I've been to. $3 got you so much stuff. So that was pretty cool. Coors Field I liked a lot. And being a Rockies fan, since you're a Rockies fan, Mickey, this is good. It's a good year for you. Red Sox fan, it's a better year for me though. So far, it's not the playoffs yet. I can't get cocky. All right, so here's the first question from Jan Bautista. So this is why this took so long, because Jan Bautista, God bless him. Just God bless him. I'm gonna try to answer your questions as honestly as possible, Jan. I'm gonna do my best. And I like them. Don't get me wrong. I like these questions, Jan. What is my relationship with the other members of Club Kayfabe? He says he starts off with basic questions, but they get more bizarre. Yes, they do. I'll give that. I really didn't know how bizarre the questions would get, but here we are. A lot of the Club Kayfabe members I went to school with at Vernon Township High School. Pat McDermott. Him and I had a few art classes together when I was an art major. Yes, I majored in art in high school. My wife My wife's over there. She's laughing at that I can't major and stuff, but I'll do what I want. Chris O'Mealy, we had our computer graphics class together. Dan Dahl, we worked together at Ames department store for a little bit of time. I'm pretty sure him and I were working there when it went out of business. God bless Ames department store. Walmart drove us out of business, drove the whole company out of business. Joey Image I never met. Jan Batista. There's a lot of people I've never met, but I would say those are the main ones. If I forget you, it's not you, it's me. It's my memory. Like I said earlier, I have terrible memory, which is why I have to write this down. So yeah, a lot of them I would say I knew from either school or work. I think Chris, Pat, and I had a class together with Gary Milo at Sussex County Community College as well, but that's... My brain's a blur. I don't even remember what I did yesterday or tomorrow. Another Jan Batista question. These questions are kind of long, so I'm gonna kind of not read the whole thing, but enough that you get the gist. Or maybe I should read the whole thing. Cousin Dave, as we all know, is a favorite amongst us members of the Asian Contingency Plan, who I am an honorary member of, which thank you so much. It's an honor to be a part of that. But he's asking if I ran into Dave Batista in a chance encounter at the airport Starbucks, what would be my sales pitch to have him come into the ACP? Oh. First of all, that would be an honor to have Dave Batista be a part of anything in my life. I would do whatever it takes. Like, take as much as a cop-out answer as that is, like, take that for what you will. Like, there's a line that you never cross, but for Batista, I think Danny and myself would cross it. I know Jan can't, because that's his cousin. But I would do whatever it takes. I would kill people. There's a lot of killing in my interview so far, I realize. We're not even to those questions yet. Once again, I'm not a psychopath. Don't judge me from my beard. If he turned us down, would my opinion of him change? I don't think it would change because, like I said, I would do whatever it took. I would open up an MMA gym for him if that's what he wanted to. I would write a movie for him if that's what he wanted. I would pretty much do whatever it took to get Mr. Batista into the ACP. But I think if we were all there, all four of us, I think he would kind of see that you guys were very accepting of me as a white man into the group, that he would kind of see that we're very open to things, and I think he'd appreciate that. Jan Batista, another question. Uh-oh, it looks like you've lost your iPod or Zune. I did have a Zune for many years. I love my Zune. I spent it perfecting it. All my favorite songs, movies, music videos, and everything are on there. A rival wrestling group's page member who may call my evil doppelganger, which I feel bad for if he doppelgangs me. Before he went public with my playlist, and I want to come clean to everyone at Club Kayfabe, what the 10 most embarrassing songs that would most likely be on my Zune or iPod. I have a very eclectic taste in music, so there are some songs that you may like on my list that I may think is a guilty pleasure or be embarrassed by. So please take no offense to these 10 songs. And Mr. Giambattista wanted me to list them in order, like Casey Kasem. So number 10, Adam Lambert, What Do You Want From Me? I'm not going to sing any of these. Stop laughing. I'm not going to sing any of these songs. Maybe we'll have karaoke videos next for all of us to do. Number 9, David Bowie's Magic Dance from the Labyrinth soundtrack. That's probably one you all enjoy, so that's probably not one that's too embarrassing. Number 8, Bruno Mars' Young Girls. As soon as I put his new album in and listened to that song, I was set on that song for life. Just nice, simple, catchy. I love pop music. Pop music's, I guess... I hate the radio, but I like pop music, so I'm kind of that weird section of just weirdness. Number 7, Katy Perry's Waking Up in Vegas. If anyone says they don't like that song, I know they're lying. Number 6, Usher's Oh My God. There was a summer that song. I think it was the summer I was in New Jersey, or it may have been somewhere, but that song was just on all the time. Never got enough of it. Number 5, Train, Drops of Jupiter. I remember at our senior prom that played, and everyone just cried and cried and cried, including me. Number 4, NSYNC. God must have spent a little more time on you. Yes, that is the gayest song title in the world. But if you listen to it and listen to the message, you may appreciate the song. No one's going to, except for Danny, because I know Danny likes NSYNC too. Sorry, Danny, if I wasn't supposed to say that. Number 3, Adele, Someone Like You. It's another one of those good ones. It's just a well-written song. We've all felt that way at some point. Number 2, 98 Degrees, The Hardest Thing. 98 Degrees is probably my favorite boy band. I love boy band music. They actually had a new CD come out this week. I didn't buy it. I'll stream it through Spotify. And also, let me just say this about Spotify. If you don't have Spotify yet, I don't know what is taking you guys so long. Because Spotify is the greatest computer music program in the world. So if you get anything out of this video, please download Spotify. And number 1, Nicki Minaj, Starships. I have nothing to say. It's just a catchy song. I like it. I don't know. Jan Batista, another question for me. If Club Kayfabe has had 7 shoot interviews so far, and I'm now number 8. And surprise, we're changing up the fuck, marry, kill. Pardon his French, and mine as well. We're now doing a promote, demote, future endeavor for 3 different professional wrestlers. Cassius Ohno is one, Triple H is another, and Hornswoggle is the third. This is a pretty easy one to answer. Obviously, Cassius Ohno would be the one I would promote. He's the one that deserves to be in the main event. He deserves to be brought up for the minors, and he's just got a skill set that just needs... I'm hoping... I've watched a little bit of NXT. It looks like they're using him the right way. Will they, when they actually bring him to the big game? It's the WWE. You never know. I would demote Triple H. I don't know if I'm demoting him as a wrestler or from his executive spot. What he's been doing has been pretty good so far behind the scenes, I guess. I don't know who to fully blame for the product we have right now, because I think we're all upset with the product right now, because I can watch matches from like 4 years ago, and it's like I miss those days. But I can't see myself saying 4 years from now that I'm gonna miss these days. But I might. I don't know. I think John Cena just really kills everything for me. I think everything... It just feels like he's always champion. It feels, no matter where he is, he could be out for 6 months and it would still feel like it was based around him. And I was too young in the 80s to know if Hogan... It felt the same way with Hogan. But at least Hogan was like All-American and Jack Swagger. Now, future endeavor would be Hornswoggle. Except I would future endeavor him in the way where I would kill him. Because Hornswoggle, as you all know, is the go-to on a storyline when they don't know where to finish it. Like Vince's son, great storyline. I think that storyline lasted like 2 or 3 months. And then it just ended with Hornswoggle and then Finlay. And then the whole anonymous general manager. Loved that angle. One of my favorite angles of all time. And then I was actually at the Raw when they were having different anonymous general managers and all the different general managers throughout the weeks leading up to, I think, WrestleMania. And it was the one where it turned out to be Hornswoggle. And it was like, you just kind of knew through the night that it was going to be Hornswoggle when Santino came to the ring, and then still bummed about that. So, but yes, promote Cassius Ohno, demote Triple H, kill Hornswoggle, because he should have already been a future endeavored. Danny Dang, top favorite music albums. It's always hard to pick 5 favorite music albums. I think music depends on your mood. But if I had to pick 5, I would go with Jimmy Eat World's Clarity, Third Eye Blind self-titled album, Everclear's Sparkle and Fade, Arcade Fire The Suburbs, and The Smiths' Meat is Murder. Which you may look at this list, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way. I don't mean to deviate too much from the list, but music sucks now compared to what it was. I don't know if everything sucks now compared to what it used to be. I know a friend and I were watching like videos for board games and stuff last night, and commercials from the 90s and cartoons and different toys. It's just, I feel like something about music isn't what it used to be. Which is why so many new songs are on my guilty pleasures list, I think, as opposed to having older classic songs. But those are my top 5 favorite, I guess, right now. The album Talk by Sigur Rós is up there too. There's a lot. I really like the Childish Gambino Rap CD, Camp. I don't know. I know Danny's not a big fan of that. That's fine. He likes Goat Yay. Okay, so this question right here from Jan Batista, this is the big one. This is the one I'm gonna improv this answer. I tried to kind of write an answer for this, Jan. Yeah. You really can't write an answer for this without writing a script. With the release of Guillermo del Toro's Mama, which was just released this past Tuesday, which was probably 2 Tuesdays ago because it took me so long to get this video up, he was asking about how he wrote a little 2-minute short called Macarena and Cheese, that's awesome right there. That if this is true, Jan, if this is a true story, I need to see this video somehow, or we need to go and film the full length. But pretty much what he's telling me, or what he's asking me to do, is write a full-length movie on his 2-minute short, which is based off of a character doing the Macarena, but at the end of the dance he blows up and all types of cheese emanate from his remains. So it's nasty, but I like it. It's a good nasty. So I'm going to answer this in filmmaker form. Instead of writing scripts and plot points, I'm going to answer it in the classic 3-act form, where the first act is going to be character development, the second one, we're going to have the all is lost moment, and the third, the redemption. So Act 1, we would kind of base his character. I would still keep the character. It's still going to be Macarena and Cheese. I'm not going to change it. We're still going to keep that. But I would give his character a backstory where when he was born the year the Macarena came out. And he came out of the womb doing the Macarena, but he didn't know. He just knew because the mother would put headphones to her stomach of the song. That's why he came out doing it. And like I said, this is just all off the top of my head, so bear with me. This might sound like the ramblings of a schizophrenic person. That's me talking. And he would be put into a foster home. He would do the Macarena the whole movie pretty much, and he would be perfect at it. Like he did it. He knew the words. He knew everything about it. So pretty much he finds out, he grows up in the foster home, no one adopts him because why would you adopt a baby that can only do the Macarena? It's weird. So no one ever adopts him. So it turns out that the foster home that he's living in, he now works at. So he has a lot of children that he's dealing with, he's helping. It turns out that they didn't have enough money for the mortgage the next month. So you think that's the all is lost moment, but it's not. Because the all is lost moment is the fact that he's sad, he goes to like the pier, we'll say it's in some kind of California beach town. I don't know, somewhere there's a pier. Sees a sign that there's a Macarena dance contest. He rips the thing off, calls a number, enters it. The all is lost moment. The end of Act 2 is, like I said, he thinks he's the best dancer. The same way I, as a gamer, thought I was the best gamer in the world until Xbox Live came out. And then I realized I suck at video games. That's a whole nother story. But he goes to the contest, and the all is lost moment, end of Act 2, is he comes in second place. And he doesn't win the money to pay for the mortgage. Pretty much what happens is, Act 3, he goes, and the way he redeems himself, it's a sad way he redeems himself. He kills himself, but the way he explodes, he still explodes to like the cheese and stuff, but what happens is the money that would have been used to pay for food for the kids could actually go towards the mortgage instead. So the kids eat his remains. That's really fucked up. I should have probably wrote that one out a little bit better. But I think, I don't know, with the way horror movies are, I think we can do it. And now that I'm thinking back, I think I just combined the plots of Happy Gilmore and Silver Linings Playbook. Minus the kids eating the cheese. Yeah. This is going well so far. Congratulations if anyone actually made it this far in the video so far. Steve and Arthur, we have the first true fuck one, marry one, kill one. Also the first Papa Shango question, which I'm surprised did not come sooner, or every question was based off of. But Papa Shango, Batista, and CM Punk. I would have to say I would actually kill Papa Shango, because he's technically already dead. So he'd still be alive, but dead, so there wouldn't be a loss there. He'd still be a part of my life. I would marry CM Punk. Like, I know he could be a jerk, but like I feel like if you're in with him, like you're good with him. Like I feel like he's loyal to the people that are loyal to him, and I respect that. And I would fuck Batista because like you see his body, I don't know, belly button tattoo. It's as simple as that. Was that weird? Is that weird to hear? Are some of these weird to hear? Let's make sure. Another one from Mr. Arthur. He has a few of these in a row. Who belonged in wrestling least? David Arquette or Kevin Federline? At least David Arquette was promoting a movie based on wrestling. So I would have to say Kevin Federline. I'm just glad he beat Cena for he can get down to it. So maybe for that reason, maybe he belonged more than Arquette. But at least Arquette was champion. You can't go wrong with the champion. Champ is here. Another question from Mr. Arthur. Triple threat quad tearing match. Vince McMahon versus Triple H versus Kevin Nash. The question is, who would win? And the answer is us as fans, because the match would be over within like 5 seconds. But if I had to pick one, I don't know. I close my eyes and I see that question in my head and I see the match and it's just really funny. I imagine like Triple H going for the sledgehammer and then for some reason Chris Jericho puts someone in the walls and then Randy Orton misses the RKO. They're not even in the match, so it's weird. Mr. Arthur, another question. Who has the better mustache? Cody Rhodes or Rick Rude? It's Rick Rude. Rick Rude is the correct answer to most questions in life. This is another one. Cody Rhodes' mustache is nice. I do like it. But it's definitely Rick Rude. Chris O'Mealy, of course, has to ask the love for my Papa Shango. This may blow your minds. Papa Shango isn't my all-time favorite wrestler. All-time favorite gimmick wrestler, yes. My all-time favorite wrestler is Macho Man, Randy Savage. Even though CM Punk is getting up there. Just because his character and his skills in the ring are just always mind-blowing. But Papa Shango, I've loved ever since I remember watching wrestling. There's a question further in this interview where I'm going to kind of go into my history of wrestling. But I always loved character wrestlers in wrestling. Always. I love Doink, the Mountie, Repo Man. Like I said, more of these questions. We'll go into that. But Papa Shango just being this weird voodoo guy who just, you'd be scared of him, but you wouldn't. Just when he come out with his hat, his face paint, like he was creepy, but he was cool. And then everything he did with the Ultimate Warrior, with the whole, another thing I'll get into later. But Papa Shango just, even the name is fun to say. Like Papa Shango. ugh, it's like one of those things like when someone like asks you a question, it's just like I just do. Like you can't put words. You can't. The right words don't exist. That's how Papa Shango and I are. He's just my guy. He is my favorite gimmick of all time. And like I said, other gimmick characters I did like. I always loved the Repo Man. He was always so. I always loved the rivalry that like Big Boss Man had with Nails. Just this convict and police officer. This such an easy thing, and I miss that most from wrestling now. I miss the days of characters instead of having people with real names, even though a lot of them aren't the real names. But like John Cena, like go back to the prototype. Maybe that's what it'll take to make him interesting again. Glenn asked, when did I first get into wrestling? Was I hooked from the start or gradually as I grew up? I remember my dad got me into wrestling. Pretty much, we would watch wrestling I believe it was Saturday mornings. Like I said, my memory is so hazy in my life, but we would watch wrestling all the time. We would watch Monday Night Raw when it first started, and then for some reason I fell out. I didn't watch wrestling for a while, and I don't know why. I don't know why I stopped. I don't know what I became busy with or what I did, but I stopped watching for a while. And then one day my dad came home with the WrestleMania. I forget what number it is. I'm terrible. It's Shawn Michaels versus Austin with Mike Tyson. I think it's 14, 13. I don't know. It's one of those. With Mike Tyson, the VHS cassette. And that brought me back in. And I've been watching ever since. Every time I tell myself I'm going to stop watching, I keep watching. If I don't watch, I read the results as soon as they post. So wrestling's a drug for me, and I can't get enough of it. Biggest oh my god moment. I would go with the old King of the Ring, Mankind, Undertaker, but I don't know. I think I marked out more when Jericho made his debut on Raw, when The Rock was talking. That was pretty cool. What a ballsy time to pick for him to come out with how big The Rock was getting at that time and having Jericho. So that I marked out probably the most at. Yeah, I would say that would be the one I marked out most at. Mr. Robert Dowse, also forgive me if I say words wrong or names wrong. What's your favorite wrestling match of all time? I would have to say, as much as I want to go classic again, with like Savage Steamboat, that's a classic. Everyone knows it's a classic. Hogan Rock, I enjoyed a lot. I know Danny loved that match too, just because of the electricity. Punk versus Cena at Money in the Bank in Chicago. What can be said? Like, if you want to talk about a match, you really had no idea that was going to end. From wrestling websites and everything, you can kind of get a feel from, even before that, you can kind of get a feel from how the angles are being built. But Punk versus Cena at Money in the Bank, you really had no idea. You're like, there's no way Punk can win. He's leaving. But then you're like, maybe. And then it was in Chicago, his hometown, so the crowd was just going crazy. So I always have to say, just for my excitement level, that would probably be one of my favorite matches of all time. What are my top 5 favorite wrestling angles of all time? I would have to say I enjoyed the higher power angle. I always like those weird spiritual things. Stephanie, where to Stephanie in the limo, and I enjoyed that. I enjoy the Undertaker's streak. I do. I think it might just be because he's actually putting on good matches again. There was a time in the late 90s, late 90s, early 2000s where the matches were just run-of-the-mill 10-minute matches just thrown in. But after the 2 with Shawn and Triple H and the CM Punk one was really good. I think the CM Punk one this year outdid both the Triple H's matches. Because like, the only thing I think of in the Triple H matches is when they went into the coal mine. Yeah. Third favorite angle, anything with Evolution. I think Evolution's probably my favorite faction of all time, with Flair, Orton, Batista, and Triple H. Whether it was them turning on Orton or Batista with the double thumbs down. I just love that faction. I just love the rivalries and feuds and the tag team matches that would happen with Flair and Orton and Batista. And here's the feud that I'm probably gonna get shit for. I was a sucker for the Matt Hardy and Edge feud. There's an Edge question later on, but that was just such a real life feud. Real life women stealing, being an asshole, and then Hardy gets endeavored, but then he comes back 6 months later. And it was just it was interesting because I was at the Raw at the Meadowlands. I'm sure one of my other East Coast Club Kayfabers were there when Matt Hardy came back as Matt Hardy, as a fan, not a real wrestler, and being the shit out of people backstage, and that was cool. I really enjoyed that whole rivalry with Lita and all that stuff. And then it's hard not to go with Austin McMahon. That's just... That was what it was. I know I could have lumped that in with the Higher Power, but if you haven't seen the Higher Power angle, I couldn't do a spoiler for that. It was McMahon. It was him all along. Is there anybody right now at mid-card level that deserves a better push? Honestly, there's no mid-card. You're either going for the championship or you're nothing. I like Cesaro a lot, but I think he's pretty much done. Give Wade Barrett a shot at the top again. I'd like that. Wade Barrett's one of my favorite guys right now, too. All the heels are my favorite guys. The faces are so boring. I wish everyone would just turn heel. Except for Cena. Eric Strensland, my good friend, asked me, what is my view on Zack Ryder? I'm surprised he still has a job. I think he needs a gimmick change. He needs something. I know there were rumors of a gimmick change for him. Is it going to happen? I don't know. His show is his Z Long Island story. That was actually pretty funny. I enjoyed that, but I just think his time in the WWE should come to an end. Just move on, and he can't go to TNA because they already have they already have a version of him there. So unless he can be the real one and then he can manage them, I don't know. But Zack Ryder, how do you feel about Zack Ryder? Woo woo woo. That's all you need to say. Eric also asked, fuck one, marry one, kill one. Brooklyn Brawler, Al Snow, Junkyard Dog. I'm gonna ask you how you came up with those three when it's your turn to do the interview. But I would kill Junkyard Dog. He's already dead, so I wouldn't really have to kill him per se. But maybe I would still stab at him they did Jason on Friday the 13th Part 6, and maybe the lightning bolt will wake him up. I would fuck the Brooklyn Brawler, just because he's just always there. He'd be a good booty call because he'd always be there and be ready to go. And I would marry Al Snow. Do I need to say why I would marry him? It's head. It's because of head. That was good. I'm glad I wrote it that way. I like that one. Oh, Giambattista, another question. I'm sorry, another story. I'm shackled in the confines of a mangy-ass bathroom. Pardon my French. Don't worry, it's not that bad. With my left ankle cuffed to a pipe behind the toilet, a la Saw. A walker is in the middle of the room about to make its way towards you, but it's only a half torso and it's crawling on its arms to get at me. I find 3 random items, a potato gun, a rotten yam, and a butter knife. Let's see if I can MacGyver my way out of this scenario. I try to be creative, cut the potato in half, try to talk with him and have dinner, make him my friend. We live a nice life down there. But I think it's just as simple as sticking the knife in the yam in the gun, and shooting him in the head. Boom. I don't know, I think it's that simple. It may not be. Just realized my shirt is wrinkly. I'll start this over. So I think it's that simple, and I don't know. Maybe I would try to. I wouldn't saw through my ankle, or I probably could. Now that I think I probably could saw through my ankle, because I've broken both of my ankles twice, most of which were volleyball related, and I have like no tendons in them anymore, so they pretty much just hang, which is pretty funny for you guys probably. So maybe I would cut through my ankle. I don't know. I don't know if I can deal with the blood. I'd probably pass out from the blood. Randy asked me, what is my favorite rest hold? I would have to say it's the one where when Danny's spooning me, he puts his arm around my neck and he whispers to me. Or the $1 Million Dream. I know it's a finishing move, but it's not technically a rest hold. But pretty much. Stephen Arthur, good question. Why do I have a hatred for Edge? And also, why has this hate trickled down to Christian? Edge has never done anything wrong to me. Like, it's weird. Edge isn't somebody that I should hate. And I might have to talk to Danny more about this, because I know he doesn't really like Edge that much. Edge has been in some good matches. Edge has put on great matches. Like, John Cena's been in good matches, but he's not responsible for those matches. People he is with in those matches, in my opinion, carry him through good matches. Like, I love, when Punk fights Cena, I love those matches, because for some reason they have good chemistry. But Edge, just, like I said, he's been in great matches. He's done great things. He's been champion so many times, tag team champions so many times, with Christian in most cases. It's just his character I don't like. Like, I make the joke he should go back drumming for the Foo Fighters, but that joke's old now. He just never appealed to me. The Brood was interesting when he was part of the Brood. Like, wore the necklace and stuff. But I just never really... Edge never really intrigued me to a way where I was interested in him. So I might not hate Edge. My wife is saying the F word to me right now because she loves Edge. God bless her. God bless her for liking Edge. But Christian, I don't know. I may hate Christian more than Edge, but just Christian and Edge are so synonymous with one another. Like, you wouldn't think of Bubba Ray or Bully Ray without Devon. You wouldn't think of Matt Hardy without Jeff Hardy. You wouldn't think about Jeff Hardy without Cocaine or Victory Road, which is going to be the next question. But Edge, like I said, he puts on great matches. Him and I never really got on the same page together. But I'm going to ask Danny this personally after this video to see why he really hates Edge. Jan Batista, because this is Jan Batista's last question. Jan, I hope I did good for you. I hope I did well. I'm giving 3 random artifacts. TNA Victory Road 2011, the classic. WWF's Capital Carnage. And also WWE's Brock Lesnar, Here Comes the Pain. I have to sell one, keep one, and burn one. I would have to sell TNA's Victory Road just because of the way that it ends. As much fun as it is to watch on YouTube, I couldn't imagine watching that DVD from beginning to end knowing how it's going to end. It's just... Poor Jeff. I would burn Capital Carnage. I was never a huge fan of Sable or Jacqueline. Like, if it was, like, maybe... I don't even know. I wouldn't even say the Bella Twins. Maybe, like, Caitlyn for Danny. Or maybe, like... the... Funkadactyls? I don't know. Isn't Jacqueline one of the Funkadactyls? I thought she was. But that one... For that reason alone, I'm a married man, so I'm happy with the Capital Carnage I get at home. And I would keep Brock Lesnar's Here Comes the Pain. It's Brock Lesnar. Ladies and gentlemen. I love Brock Lesnar. He's awesome. His match at WrestleMania this year was just so awesome. He was just so into it, which was awesome. He just wanted to kill Triple H. He's going to kill someone in the ring one day. He's so big. And he has such nice tattoos. Matt Hardman asked me what gimmicked 90s WWF wrestler would have formed the best tag team with Papa Shango. I don't think any of them really would. Kamala might be a good one. I would have preferred if Dink turned heel on Doink and joined Papa Shango. Like Papa Dinko or like Tiny Shango. Because that'd be awesome having like a tiny Papa Shango running around. Like that'd be pretty cool. But Kamala, I guess, would be a wrestler of the time that I think would be good. He also asked me Kama versus Taz. I have no idea who Kama is. I know the Good Father and stuff and the Godfather. I have no idea who Kama is. So I picked Taz. I know who Kama is. I'm just kidding. But Taz, the human suplex machine, Kakahajime, choking people out. It's Taz all day. Best legit name by an athlete. We'll go with athlete, meaning wrestler. I'm a sucker for Michael Hickenbottom. I don't care. I don't care what their name is. Paul Levesque. That's cool and everything. But Michael Hickenbottom. Like, you wouldn't look at Shawn Michaels and think that's his name. But it is. Who would have guessed? Oh, I like Kane's real name. Isaac Yankem. That's a cool name, too. Did Papa Shango put a curse on Vince's limo? No, it was actually Chris Benoit who did that. Because... Good job finding a Chris Benoit question here. 2 of them, actually. And did Chavo let the dogs out? Actually, the Baja Men did. That's the answer to that question. And final question, Danny Dang. Was I forced to play sports as a child? And if so, do you wish you stuck with it? I wasn't forced into sports. I didn't play sports growing up my whole life. I played baseball majority of my life since I was 4. Played soccer for a while. I was terrible at it. Like, really bad. And I played basketball for a while. And I was decent. I as tall as I am, I'm 6'6", and I can't really shoot close. I can shoot, like, 3-pointers and stuff really good. And, like, far-out jumpers. Which would be good now for my height, because when I would play in school, being 6'6", I'd always be center. But being 6'6" in the NBA, I'd be playing, like, guard and forward, so I'd have, like, the wings to go onto. But, yeah, I played that. I wish I stuck with baseball. I was good at baseball. I never played in the high school team, because I wasn't one of those people, and I think Chris and Pat will understand what that means. But yeah, I wish I stuck with baseball. I should have when I went to community college at SC3, Harvard on the Hill. I should have tried out for that team because I'm pretty sure, not to be cocky, but I'm pretty sure I would have made that team. But that I think about that, it bums me out sometimes. That I wish I stuck with baseball a little bit further. So I'm looking to hopefully join a softball league soon. So if anyone lives in Central California and needs a player, I would love to play. So that is my interview. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate it. I enjoy being a part of the group most of the time. Oh, Jason Shin, actually, the thing about baseball. Jason Shin and I played baseball together when we played for the Pirates. And even earlier. So that's Jason Shin and I played baseball together. That's how I know him. But anyway, I guess that's the interview. I don't know who I'm picking next yet, but I think you'll find out soon. I don't know how long it's going to take to do the video to put on YouTube. But other than that, thank you for the questions, and I guess that's it.